Can I sing that? Do we have to pay ASCAP? For happy birthday? What if I sing it like Marilyn? No, Manson. Who's got the rights to it anyway? Does this show make any money? Well, ASCAP can't sue me for singing it if there's no money to make, right? What if it's a charitable donation? Who's our lawyer? Isn't Hank's brother a lawyer? Oh, I see. Well, he can still give advice for free, right? Oh, just let me sing the damn song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you. It's the Not Too Late Show with our very special guest, Julia Child. Yay!
I just want nothing from the humans of Earth.
Hello, everyone. This is Henry L. Hank Damon, and welcome to yet another edition of the Not Too Late Show. As I said, I am your host, Henry L. Hank Damon, and I have with me in the studio Kerry Kaufman.
Hi, kids!
We are broadcasting to you from the gravesite of Lee Harvey Oswald. At least that's where they pointed us to when we asked where it was. I think the funeral home got tired of people asking where Lee Harvey's gravesite was, so they just stuck a headstone in a remote spot. Someplace the grass would grow back really easily.
Yeah. Now, what about Nick Beef, the guy that's buried, or I guess where he's going to be buried, or decided to put the...
Right, the comedian Nick Beef, yeah.
him.
I guess he's just in it for the foot traffic.
That's not even his real name. This is all just really confusing to me.
Yeah, well, nobody said theology was a cakewalk.
Okay.
Yes.
With that in mind.
Yes, death cults, yes.
Wow.
How did we jump to that?
You, Hank. Your brain. I have your tweets yesterday. We can start with that. I send him a tweet about the Titanic and I get something about a soggy dog story. Anyways, all right, March 16th announcements. If you are listening attentively to the sound of my voice, you are either listening via our website, nottoolateshow.com, or via TFOK radio at Spreaker.com/JSpazRadio. And if I'm talking too fast, then look a little bit below me and it should be right there. Now, there are some other ways you can listen. You can even watch us. TFOKers, pay attention. After you listen to this, you need to go out to YouTube. Check us out because in this episode, Hank doesn't know it yet, but there are going to be things that happen that you are not going to catch by listening to this alone. Go to YouTube after you listen to this show and watch the footage. Trust me, you want to.
I love surprises.
All right, so as always, you can look for our handle, Not Too Late Show, and again, it should be right there in the comments. Last but certainly not least, right now we have the funds available to record 3 shows a month and air them via our website, YouTube, and on TFOK Radio. Thank you guys very much, by the way. If you like what you are hearing or watching, please go to our website, click on the button, and you can donate a one-time donation of however much you like. And you can sign up for a monthly donation. It's all through PayPal, so it is quick and it's painless. And with that in mind, Hank, I want to give a quick shout out to C&D Tutoring because they clicked on that button and they gave us a one-time donation. They are awesome. Hey,
that's excellent. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you guys very much. Appreciate that. Now, if you have a business, C&D Tutoring, that you would like to advertise on our show, we can also put you on our website if we haven't already. We would love to partner with you, so you can get in contact with us via Tweeter. You can go to us on Tweeter.
The alternative. The alternative Twitter. The alternative Twitter, man. Tweeter.
Facebook or the Contact Us button that is on the website. And we thank you in advance for your support. And this is actually not the end of my announcements. I have one other announcement to make. Now, Hank put this in the script, all over the script, which I wanted him to anyways. If you haven't already guessed, it is Hank's birthday today. And Hank, you know I'm in martial arts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, do you know at our school what we do for people on their birthday?
You get them a cake.
I
No,
wish.
you chop a cake in half.
You're
You
close.
karate chop a cake.
You're close about the chopping part. When it's our birthday, we get to break boards.
Oh.
And so guess what I did for you?
What?
I brought some boards. So if you'll give me just a moment. You unveil the boards, please? Get on up here, Hank.
Oh, I got to hold something?
Oh, I'm going to hold something. All right.
Is all of this being recorded?
This is being recorded. We'll just start with this one. Now, you said you took a... Thank you. I think Miss Shea's going to get us all straightened out. Ah! Can you see us? Can you see us?
Should
Can
I
you
take my
see?
watch off?
That's up to you. It depends on what hand you're going to break with.
What hand? I'm breaking with?
You can. Do you want to kick or do you want to hit?
Oh, I'd probably be better at kicking.
Okay, and you can do it with or without your boots on. Either way is fine with me.
Okay, probably with them on.
Okay, and of course I would forget my little. Oh well. Okay, so you did a self-defense class some time ago.
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember how to do
Nothing
it?
like this.
Well, that's why I brought the small one.
Okay.
So do you remember how to do a front kick?
What, like that?
Yeah, that's it. What you're gonna do is you're gonna stand. The leg you're gonna kick with is the
Yeah.
one you're gonna stay behind,
Okay.
and you're gonna take it. Just go knee up, pop, and bring it back.
Okay.
So try that. That's it. You want to give it a real good pop.
Okay.
That's it. All right. So and aim for the board, not my fingers.
Oh, Lord.
Ready?
I'm very uncoordinated.
Go for it. Give it a real good, as hard as you can. There you go. Woo!
Okay.
Yes. All right.
No pressure whatsoever.
Awesome. Happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, I got a board.
All righty.
I got a
Hank broke
broken
his-
board for my birthday.
Awesome. You did a good job.
Yeah, how about that?
Give me a high five.
Second try.
Always got to do high fives. So that's okay. I've seen other people would take, and actually, if it makes you feel any better, that was not the kiddie board.
Okay.
Yeah, the kiddie board.
You had one, and yeah.
I had 3 on reserve actually.
All right. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right. So today is March 16th, and it is your birthday.
Yes, and yours is in 2 days, I understand. Do you remember how old you're going to be?
No, I don't, and you're gonna shut up. We are not going to talk about that. No.
I know you're not supposed to ask a woman's age, but you're no ordinary woman.
I will take that as a compliment, but you are not asking about my age. I'm still suffering from. Look, I'll put it to you this way: I'm celebrating the 13th anniversary of my 27th birthday.
Okay.
Now let's please get going before anyone does the math.
All right. All right. Very good. Enough about me. Who do we have as a guest on tonight's show?
Well, you know how you said that since this is also Joseph Levich's birthday, that you'd like to get him on the show?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we couldn't get him.
Okay.
So he was booked. He's doing his telethon tonight.
Oh, yes, the Joseph Levitch telethon.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that was until September.
Oh, I'm just passing on what his booking agent,
Bookkeeper,
his
yeah.
bookie.
Yeah.
That's what his booking agent told me.
Okay. Well, that's a bummer. Well, who'd you get?
Well,
Now, wait a minute. Is it a woman, for Women's History Month?
well, actually, yeah. As a matter of fact,
Well, awesome. Is it an older woman?
yeah, you could say that.
You got Sophia Loren. You come on the show. That's
No,
awesome. Thank you.
No, it's not Sophia Loren.
Raquel Welch.
No, it's not Raquel Welch.
Does she speak with an accent?
Well, you could say she has a little bit of an accent.
It is Sophia Loren. You're just
It
being
is
catty.
not Sophia Loren. Get over it.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Ursula Andress. Ilka Summer.
No.
Uta Hagen.
No.
Ingrid Bergman.
No.
Hedy Lamarr.
No, I wish.
Claudette Colbert.
Dude, you're so far off. It's not even funny anymore.
All right, okay, let me think. Accent must be British. Julie Christie, Joan Collins, Jacqueline Bisset, Honor Blackman, Judy Carn, Carol Cleveland, Dottie Blandingsworth,
No.
Emma Ramsbottom,
No.
Deirdre Hattie's Porch,
No.
Louise Dupree, Robin Andover.
Hank, she's not an actress. And the accent, believe it or not, is actually an American one.
Well, Deirdre Hattie's Porch isn't an actress, and she's American. She checks me out at Walmart.
And she's not very sexy, Hank.
Deirdre Hattie's Porch? Well, you better not let her hear you say that.
You better not let Righteous Al hear you say that.
Well, all right. I'll stop torturing myself and
Righteous
the
Al,
audience.
do you know he's checking out women at Walmart?
No, it's for checking me out.
Yeah.
We'll bring her on out.
Ladies and gentlemen, born in Pasadena, California, former secretary for Super Spy Wild Bill Donovan and host of a long-running PBS cooking show, welcome Julia McWilliams, a.k.a. Julia Child.
What are you talking about? Not sexy. Any woman who can cook is sexy.
Hank, family show.
Oh, yeah, right.
Please.
Okay. All right. You're right. We can't have the kids watching someone sharpen knives on internet radio.
Oh, yeah, that was the point.
Have a seat, Mrs. Child. Oh, my goodness. We should have gotten a bigger chair. May I ask how tall you are, Mrs. Child?
I am 6'3", and I eat 5'9" pipsqueaks like you for lunch.
I like her.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, did you play basketball in school?
Oh, yes, I was quite an athlete.
Well, I have to ask, what was it like to work under Wild Bill Donovan, the head of the OSS, which is the precursor to the CIA in 1944?
Oh, he was a charming man, also a very quiet man, kept a lot of secrets, you know?
Yeah, well, I would imagine.
Now, I have a question for you, Mrs. Child.
Go right ahead, dearie.
What do you think of Paula Deen?
Oh, if you take a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of baking soda and put it in her mouth, you won't have any trouble at all eating off her face.
Oh, well, that's certainly, yeah.
That's pretty powerful stuff right there.
And I think whoever hurled that ham at her didn't have the proper technique. You see, to throw a ham, you have to spread your legs. Here, I'll demonstrate.
No, that's okay.
I just happen to have a ham right here. You want to make sure that it's a little bit thawed, and you rotate your arms forward like so.
Aye.
Keisha, sorry. We'll fix that later. Okay, so, all right, so, since it's Hank's birthday, you're gonna bake a cake for us, right?
Well, of course. Happy birthday, young man.
Oh, well, thanks. Thanks.
What sort of things do you have around the studio that I could use to make a cake?
Oh, I didn't, Jeff?
Oh, no. I like to be imaginative with my cooking, but it isn't very proper to cook people.
No. I'm so sorry. No, I sorry. Jeff, our sound guy. What do we have around the studio that we could put in Hank's cake?
Oh, what a relief.
Yeah. Miller Lite, yeah. Dozen ice cubes? No, Hank doesn't smoke. Okay, he really doesn't smoke that.
No, it just really isn't necessary.
I just happen to have here an egg and a bottle of cooking sherry. Ooh. When one travels to distant places, one has to get creative.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, there's just one problem. Jeff, we don't have a place to bake the cake, do we?
No trouble at all. Do you have a lighter and some propane?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Jeff says that can certainly be arranged.
Gosh, this is really nice and all, but this is just not...
You shush.
Are you tired, run down, listless, having difficulty getting control of your life? Well, what the hell is the matter with you, you lazy freeloader? Get your butt off the couch and join the Army. If you don't like getting your bed dirty sleeping on the ground, then join the Navy. Don't like the water, then maybe you need motivation. Join the Marines. Or maybe you just want to stand around all day. Okay, join the Air Force and stand on a hot tarmac filling up planes with jet fuel. Do something. Sheesh.
Alrighty, we're back, and the cake is in the oven.
Somehow I feel like I've lost all control.
Yes, you have. Well, we just want to make it easier for you, so just sit back, relax, enjoy your birthday as well as it can be. So, Mrs. Child, this is your first time, so what's going to happen is I'm going to ask a couple of questions. You get first pick of the answer, and then Hank will either agree or disagree, and if he decides to share his wisdom, he's more than welcome to.
Sometimes there's nothing to offer.
And the questions are not from my usual spot. So if you're looking at this on YouTube or if you're looking at this on the website, the links to where I got the questions are going to be in the comments below. So make sure you click on that and go to the page and you'll see where I got these from. So, because there are a few more questions, and I think one of the articles was actually a really cute little kid trivia game. So that was kind of fun. So, subject is St. Patrick's Day, since it's St. Patty's Day tomorrow. Green. Hi, and by the way, there you go. Okay, thought I'd get that out of my system. Even Darth Vader is wearing green. So, all right. Question number 1: how did St. Patrick, according to legend, make all the snakes disappear from Ireland? Did he kill them? Did he flood the country? Burn the country, or by pounding drums?
I believe it was by pounding drums. Just shook them all up.
Okay.
Yeah, I that's what I believe also.
And you are correct. Yay!
Hey, what do you know?
Awesome. Hey, 1 for 1. All right, y'all off to a great start. Now, the city of Chicago dyes its river green to celebrate. What year did this tradition begin? Was it 1959, 1962, 1968, or 1972?
1968.
Hank?
627 AD.
He was dead by that time, Hank. All right, it was 1962.
I don't know. Pick a year. Goodness sake.
All right. Let's see. What color was originally associated with St. Patrick? Was it blue, green, red, or chartreuse?
Green, I think.
Okay.
Originally?
Originally.
That's the key word, right? That's
the key word.
That's designed to throw me off, right?
That's the key word.
Let's see. Would you say gold something? Chartreuse?
Charmeuse.
I like the way she says it. Is that the proper way?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
My way, always the proper way.
Oh, there you go. Her way is the right way. So says the lady. So blue, green, red, or say it again?
Charmeuse.
That's it.
I'll have to agree with that. Charmeuse. Sounds bloody good.
She's not even British, Hank.
I know.
I was born in Pasadena.
I know.
Thank you. Not offend the lady. She swam across the pond to go teach them how to cook, not to,
Not to curse, right? Yes.
Well, the color was blue. So we think of the color green when we think of St. Patrick, but the original color, for some reason, was blue, and blue can be seen on ancient Irish flags.
Oh, how about that?
All right.
Are you sure it's just not faded?
I'm just going by what No, it's not.
Okay.
If you look at it, in fact, there's the
right.
flag right there for those.
Yes,
there for those who are watching on YouTube. There's the flag right there. You can see for yourself. There's blue. So the magic of YouTube. Yes. Anyways, last question. What is the significance of March 17th, St. Patrick's Day? Was it the day he was born? The day he got rid of the snakes? The day he discovered leprechauns in their pot of gold? Or the day he died?
Pot of gold for me.
Everybody loves pot of gold.
I'm going to venture to say it was well, no, that's not right. I did know this at one time, but I've forgotten. Let's see. Born, died, leprechauns. What was the other one? Snakes. Got rid of the snakes?
Yeah.
I don't think they knew what day that was. I'm going to say died.
It was the day he died. You got one. Yay!
I gave that to you because it's your birthday.
There you go. That was very kind of you. And yeah, and actually, I believe it was, I brought the wrong notes with me, but I want to say it was in 462 that he died. And actually, I did a bit of research. It's also an anniversary of the day that he was captured and taken to Ireland as a slave. Because he was not actually born in Ireland. He was born in Great Britain around 387.
Right.
And so he was captured, taken to Ireland as a slave, also on March 17th, and then died on the anniversary of the day he became a slave.
Yeah. How about that?
That was cool.
Yeah, I knew that much.
And he and just so people are aware, if you go, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of VeggieTales, but they actually have an episode out there. It's the sumo wrestler one. Do you happen, Miss Child, do you happen to know the name of the episode?
Of course, she's a chef.
Not that particular. The chocolate bunny is my favorite episode.
Oh, I love it. Yes, I love the chocolate bunny one. This song is really catchy too. Anyways, I can quickly digress. I will try not to. But they have one, something about the sumo wrestler, and then they have a little thing in there where a little worm tells the story of St. Patrick. So I really recommend you go VeggieTales and check that out. It's really a cool explanation.
No matter what your age.
Right. I think his original name was Maewyn Succat, and it's how Maewyn Succat became St. Patrick. And, and part of it was him becoming a slave, where he lived 6 years before escaping, and then he returned to his family. After he entered the church, he came back to Ireland as a missionary and managed to convert most of Ireland to Christianity.
So do you hear the vegetables screaming when you throw them in the pot?
Do I? No. No, they don't make any sound, actually. I cut the edges off first, and they can't say anything.
That's a good way to do it.
Makes them very tender.
All right.
Wow. Well, she thinks ahead.
I'm certainly glad that's over.
Well, hang on. Before we take a break, I want to know how the cake turned out.
Oh, it's lovely, of course.
Oh, okay. Can we get that cake brought over here?
Well, how about that?
And there should be another ingredient. The tall one? Yes. Technical difficulties.
I'm not so sure I can eat that with my headphones on.
Well, you can.
I'm
you
liable
can
to set them on fire.
Can you blow out the candles? So let's go 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
We got to pay ASCAP.
Happy birthday, dear Mr. President. Happy birthday to you. Actually, I thought it was Michael Jackson we had to pay. Julia should certainly know what to do with that.
My cooking sherry, you found it.
Oh, yes. I hope Jeff doesn't have sprinklers. Okay.
Oh, okay. I think you would have warned me beforehand.
Are these those trick ones? You got me the trick ones, didn't you?
Of course I did. Yeah, I didn't think about the time it would take. Are we getting any of this on camera? Or is it being blocked by the... Is it delicious?
Charcoal flavored.
And I also got you, it's a Gabbiano Chianti, a 2012.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's very good.
happy birthday. We can, and I
Open
have
that up right now.
That's up to you. I didn't bring a bottle opener.
Oh, no, that's okay. Oh, yeah, Jeff just came in with the fire extinguisher. And not that old.
There we go.
And they're green for St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, they're green for St. Patrick's Day.
Wonderful.
You know, the humorous part of this is I was looking, we were actually shopping for beer for you.
Yeah.
And so my husband is on the phone talking to his beer expert friend that he worked with and, regularly, well, anyways. And so we're asking, well, do we need to get this one? Do we get that one? It was like, well, I wanted to get an Irish one or I wanted to get... And because, it's tomorrow is Irish St. Patrick's Day and you're part French. And I was like, and finally.
You're thinking too much.
I was thinking too much. Finally, I was like, I just need to text him.
Yep.
And of all things, he asked for something Italian.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't apply to anything, but it's what he wants.
Hey, what you know?
All righty. Where are we in the script? Swisher Sweets and Miller Lite Cake. Yeah, okay. So we pour some.
I guess
beer.
we have to write that out, huh?
Yeah. Maybe pour some beer over it.
History strikes back.
Love that.
Yes, it is March 16th, 2014. And, it's just, I think it's just accidental, kind of an accidental thing that when I see things, when I'm reading stuff and coming across stuff and looking for stuff in history, that I just come across March 16th because I'm like, oh, March 16th, and so I've got a lot of stuff for March 16th. So
a lot happened on your birthday.
well, one would think so if they
Right.
were referred to me,
Well, not
sure.
just that thing, that incident, Mai Tai incident or
The
something.
My Lai incident?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's one of the big ones, and that was from 1968.
So now we know how old you are.
The very, yes, the very day I was born, yes, was the My Lai incident. A very sobering moment in American history, American military history in particular. I always try to, we always take pride in our military.
Yes.
And we have the best military in the world, in the United States. And, and occasionally atrocities happen. And I know that Abu Ghraib was a big deal. The news people made a big deal out of Abu Ghraib a few years ago. And I think the precedent for that attack, that press attack by the press, was probably centered around My Lai. Because there were, I think it was a village of approximately 200 or 300 Vietnamese, and the United States, an army division came in, and well, it wasn't a division; it was a group of about a cadre of about 20 or 25 men, I believe, and they just wiped out the town, women and children included. You're looking at me funny. I mean, you mentioned it, but you didn't know about all that, huh?
It's been a while since. The About Us page. It's on your About Us page on the website. So it was something I read long ago when it first went up.
Yeah, I see.
But I guess what I was going to ask, was it Americans that killed all the civilians?
Oh, yeah.
Or what was their reasoning for?
Well, they managed to pin it down to one man. And I don't have his name in front of me. His name will forever live in infamy. But
Right.
it went back and forth for several years. There was a trial, and there were other lieutenants and people up and down the chain who were grilled and court-martialed. And but it eventually came down to this one guy who gave the orders to shoot to kill and shoot to kill civilians. So the part of the issue was that a lot of the people that were working for the Viet Cong were civilians.
Right.
They were underground civilians, and I think that there were certain people in the military who got frustrated by that. Who got extremely frustrated by it.
Because you never knew who was going to come in. Because wasn't this the war where little children would just come into a restaurant where there were Americans hanging out, and they'd have a bomb on them.
Well, yeah,
stuff like that.
There were things that did happen like that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not nearly as insidious as some of the stuff that's going on in the Middle East, but it was not. It was a bit of a surprise because because it was the war was the way that the war was presented to America was that the South Vietnamese were our friends and they were on our side. And but between the jungle warfare and between some of the insidiousness that was going on, the underground civilian movement, it became very frustrating. And there was no push to use nukes or anything like that. Nukes had been pretty much written out of the equation. And so it made it a very problematic war, made it very difficult.
Right.
And the other thing about the reason why that My Lai is so significant is because it did not make news until 1 year later.
Why?
Because it was hidden.
Oh, because it was Americans that did it, and so they didn't want that publicity to get out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kept a secret. It was kept quiet. And I don't know whether it was the military that that eventually released the story, or whether the New York Times actually broke the story. I'd have to read the history about it, and I can do that in another show. I can try to find a good book about it, a good fair book about it, and some of that stuff, some of those details can be outlined. But
yeah,
anyway,
it's an unfortunate and not very proud event in American history.
No, it's not. But I was born, so.
But you were born. You made the day better.
Totally makes up for it.
Absolutely.
Well, that's much appreciated.
And then the bright shining light. Were you born in the morning or in the afternoon? Or
early morning.
Early morning?
My mother never let me forget that.
Why, she didn't get much sleep the night before.
Yes.
Oh, bless her heart.
Some other things that happened was Tiberius, one of the more notorious Caesars, died in 37. There was a mass Jewish suicide in York, England, in 1190. I'll read something about that in a minute.
Okay, good. I was just about to ask.
Joseph Levitch was born in 1926. Now, we joked about Joseph Levitch?
Did.
Do we know who Joseph Levitch is?
Entertainment industry?
Well, entertainment, yes. You know what he does?
Comedian.
Hey, lady!
Jerry Lewis! Yes! Oh, that's right. We almost had Jerry. I remember now. So that there was a bit of truth to that script.
Oh,
I remember. Yes. And we did have trouble with Jerry Lewis. So.
The stage play 1776 premiered on Broadway. It was a musical. Jerusalem was seized by Babylon in BC 597.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was on, really?
Yeah, I don't know how they narrowed it down to March 16th, but
right.
But
that was on your birthday.
Yeah, wow. Oh, cool.
Wow. Significant history.
And one of my favorite stories in history is about Mission San Saba, and I wrote about it in my book that is yet to be.
Still working on that,
huh?
When is it?
Righteous Al is still working on it. She claims that she's just got a couple of chapters left to edit. I don't know. I don't know what she's doing to it. She's
so it's in
turning it inside out, I guess.
Still an editing conundrum.
I think she thinks the same thing that a couple of other people have told me, that nobody's quite ready for my for my style. I have a very unique style of writing, so I don't know what the complaint is. I mean, I'm not Faulkner or anything. I think it's easier to understand.
Well, you're not Bob Dylan either. It's not like you wrote The Tarantula. So he was not high when he wrote it. Now, if you were high and wrote a book, have you ever written a book while drunk?
Written an entire book while drunk?
Or at least a couple of short stories?
Well, I've written poems. I've written several poems, inebriated and under the influence. Yeah.
Okay, how about the ones that were not about women? That's a
loaded question. They're all about women, aren't they?
Well, they're supposed to be.
Well, yeah, there you are. There you go.
Well, the reason why I bring that up is because one of Bob Dylan's best books, he wrote when he was high. So you have a very it was called The Tarantula.
Yeah.
And Mr. J knows exactly what I'm talking about. Because he's read it several times. But anyways, and rumor has it that if you're high, you understand it.
And I see.
But so that's why I ask, is because you already have a very satirical.
I'm not into that stuff. I
just would be curious to see.
I have an addictive enough personality. I don't need to add something to it.
I was just saying it would make your already great writing style very even more interesting.
Yeah, well.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm dragging this out. I haven't even had caffeine.
Anyway, so that's my basic hit list, but here's some things from history.org. Or history.org.
So how many corrections we got today?
I haven't been smoking any day, I promise, man.
That was quick.
Yeah.
I spiked your cake.
Yeah.
She didn't cook out the Chianti.
I put a little cooking sherry here somewhere. I thought not. In your cake.
Yeah, did you notice the cupcakes were a little wet on top?
the one in 1345. I thought this was great. I did some extra research on this. It says, "Holy Spirit glides above fire. The miracle of Amsterdam," which is, and it has in parentheses legend.
Okay.
So I found this from Architecture as Experience, Radical Change in Spatial Practice by Dana Arnold and Andrew Ballantyne. And the reason this really doesn't have very much to do with architecture, but in my research, I found a lot of travel books that made reference to this Amsterdam thing in kind of in passing. There were other books that like told half of the story. So, but this book actually had some detail. A few years before Emma and Wilhelmina began their campaign for the hearts and minds of Amsterdam, a new annual Catholic ritual had been initiated in commemoration of the city's miracle of the Sacrament. Amsterdam's miracle took place in 1345. It was a standard miracle of the era. The host administered, talking about the for communion.
Oh, yes, yes.
The host administered to a dying man was vomited, and the vomit discarded into a fire, but miraculously, the next morning the host was found floating above the fire, unscathed by flame or heat. When the miraculous host was removed to the church, it disappeared and then reappeared back at the home of the dying man. Within 2 years of the event, a chapel had been established to accommodate pilgrims at the site of the hearth, and soon a yearly cycle of events was inaugurated to celebrate the anniversary of the miracle. 2 weeks in which pilgrims came to the city, a market was held, and on the first Wednesday after the 12th of March, the host was carried through the city in a solemn procession. The procession was a colorful event. In the front were the guilds carrying candles, banners, and statues of patron saints. Children followed, girls dressed as angels and boys as black devils. And then followed the militia, singing choir boys, priests, and monks. Finally, under a canopy carried by Amsterdam's 4 mayors, walked a priest with the monstrance holding the sacrament. The last participants in the procession followed behind: city officials, ordinary citizens, pilgrims, and foreigners.
Wow. all this over a floating piece of bread.
Floating, that was upchucked. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
It was on fire. But it wasn't burning. So, yeah.
Right. It had caught on fire and then just kind of floated its way out and miraculously. And
Julia Child, are you familiar with host flambe?
No, not anything like that. This actually doesn't sound like a true story, but it's good entertainment.
Right. Now, here's a possible theory. Was the bread already dipped in the wine when it got upchucked? Because when it went into the fire and got floated out, then the fire would not have burnt it because it would have burnt the alcohol.
Yeah,
because sometimes the fire will spit things out.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how. I can see that, but this is like hours and hours of,
Maybe it would have been soaked.
Like 2 years. It says 2 years.
It was still.
Well, I don't know. I guess it says the next morning the host was found floating above the fire, unscathed.
Wow.
So,
that would be a cool little miracle.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure why it was chosen that a vomited piece of host would be so holy. Why not?
Well, why does God do anything?
Yeah.
Why did He create the duckbill platypus except to prove that He has a sense of humor?
Yeah.
But never put God in a box. He had his reasons.
I guess so. I guess Amsterdam needed it.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
I guess they needed a miracle.
And that's the part of the story that they're not telling is how it affected the town. Honestly.
Sure.
They had a parade. They did this, they did that.
Right.
But I'd love to read the personal story of the person who upchucked. And then, if it really happened, you said, it's a legend. Is it a legend? Is it a rumor? Did it really happen? And were there any, how did it affect the people?
Well, something apparently happened because,
they have a parade.
Somebody wrote it down.
Yeah.
And they had a parade every year for several years. Well, so.
It's certainly interesting. It's unique. I will give it that. It is definitely, because you hear about like the Mary statues that cry or the Jesus statues that, sometimes will have blood come out of nowhere and sometimes those are just nothing more than there was, a pipe broken. I think there was one story that's what it ended up being. But, you hear about these stories and, of course, after you kind of giggle about it or whatever, you kind of does cross your mind of like, but it affected someone. And, some things happen whether they're real or not for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, that's my diatribe.
Yeah, right.
It's my little soapbox for today.
Theology 101.
Oh, yes.
1517, Pope Leo X signs Fifth Council Lateran.
Say that 3 times fast.
King Gustav III in 1792, King Gustav III of Sweden, is shot by a Count Ankerstrom at a masked ball at the opera. And he died Gustav died on March 29th.
Poor guy.
The first U.S. black newspaper, Freedom's Journal, began publishing in 1827.
Cool.
I believe that was based in New York.
Oh, that was before the Civil War, wasn't it?
Yep, sure was.
Wow.
Yep. In 1900, Sir Arthur Evans finds old city of Knossos. In 1922, Sultan Faoud I was crowned king of Egypt, and then England recognizes Egypt. Said, I know you. You're Egypt. You look quite a lot like Egypt. In 1926, Robert Goddard launches the first liquid fuel rocket, and it goes 184 feet.
Oh, no, that would have been fun.
Yeah. 1941, 2 things happen. We have blizzard hits North Dakota and Minnesota, killing 60.
You have a thing for cold weather.
Yeah, isn't that something?
That's something. You don't like cold, do you?
Global warming. Global warming.
Yeah.
Telling you. It's happening.
Sure.
Ocean levels rising.
Keep going.
In 1941, Dmitri Shostakovich receives the Stalin Prize.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's the Stalin Prize?
It's probably something Stalin gave to people for being cool. I don't know.
Yeah. Or for being good little commies or...
Well, Shostakovich, he was a composer.
Oh, that's right. We talked about him a couple of... Yes. Go. If you link to the episode is down, I will find it.
In 1945, the Allies secure Iwo Jima. And I guess, made it safe for more allies.
Cool.
And then in 1952, we have Babe Didrikson Zaharias. She wins the LPGA title holders golf championship.
Good for her. Hey, women world, right?
Yeah.
Woman's world, yes.
Yes, absolutely. If we could have it, women should rule the world, right?
Yes.
Well, men don't know it, but we already do because they say the man is the head of the household.
But the woman is the neck.
You got it, ma'am.
She can turn the head any way she wants.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to nominate myself for president based on that fact right there.
I concur.
I'll make you a cake. Or an omelet.
Man, we'll have the president and the first lady all rolled up in one.
In 1962, the U.S. super constellation disappears above the Pacific Ocean and kills 167. And I tried to do some research on that also. I was curious about it. I didn't know what a super constellation was. And then I didn't know about, the whole thing. So,
so what is a super constellation? I know it can't be stars in the sky.
Well, it's an airplane. It's an airplane. It was actually used as it became a civilian plane. I can't remember where the original design started. I think it originally started as a civilian plane.
Okay.
And then the Air Force or Army or whoever used it began using it as a transport plane. And the reason why there isn't very much information about it is because it was a military transport plane.
Well, there you go.
So, Robert Kennedy in 1968 announced his presidential campaign.
In 1968?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the day you were born.
The 13th Grammy Awards in 1971. Like a bridge over troubled water.
I like that song.
Yes, I generally like Simon and Garfunkel, but some of the Garfunkel songs are so whiny.
Well, that was the era. It was the time. There was that folk music.
Yeah.
That's when they were trying to conquer the world through music and words and dude. You ever notice the peace sign is perfectly capable, right? Like all you have to do is squeeze your fingers and then use it.
I never knew you were into that kind of thing. I
had
But
friends
exactly
who
what
were,
happened. Somebody smoked a cigarette, flicked it, and somebody else saw it, and it became an epidemic.
that's it.
And then in 1994, I've got Tonya Harding pleads guilty to the felony attack on Nancy Kerrigan.
Oh, that was 94, huh?
Yep.
That's a cool. Well, no, not cool. I remember that. You know, they did a story on her. She evidently, about a year later, she saved someone's life, and they made a big deal about Tonya Harding.
Is that right?
Yeah. So that was. I think they were trying to do publicity.
Yeah.
But bless her little heart, you know, she ended up going to the Olympics, and then she broke her shoelace on the ice. I mean, you kind of do have to feel sorry for her because it wasn't her doing the act. It was like a boyfriend or something, and all she wanted was to skate in the Olympics. And Nancy Kerrigan was just
Better.
In the way.
she was there.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I got. That's all I got for History Strikes Back.
All right.
Well, I don't know if we have time for this, but I thought I would introduce a new segment to the show called Hank's Highway.
No, you like to prolong my editing agony is what you like to do.
Well, I got to leverage my resources. That's the sign of a good delegator.
And a bloody foot is the sign of an alligator.
Well delivered.
Thank you.
Who wrote that?
I wonder.
I did.
Again, the lady.
Hank's Highway. What was I going to say?
I don't know. What
you know,
going to say?
You know, I just wanted to bring it up. I just wanted to actually introduce the segment.
Okay.
Because I know that some people go to the website, they might actually see a section of for Hank's Highway. We haven't updated the photos in a while. It's not like that we're totally incompetent of taking pictures of where we go.
No, but getting the pictures to my laptop sometimes is problematic, Hank.
Yes, I know. I understand. So I guess we'll just have to talk offline about some kind of system that we could incorporate.
Well, and I heard that recently Righteous Owl and Thunder are doing a trip.
Yes, that is correct, and hopefully we can coordinate on that. Has just been booked for privacy reasons. I won't give the exact date and time. Mm-hmm. But my wife and my son are going to go to England, and they're going to walk across England. They're doing what they call a coast to coast. Yes, from St. Bees to Robin's Egg Bay or something like that.
So how long is that going to take?
Roughly 3 weeks.
Wow. Yeah. And so is she going to homeschool the whole way, or?
I think it's one giant
long
homeschool assignment.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. So
that would be awesome.
So yeah. So surprise. And so that gives me cause to, and plus we bought a pop-up trailer. And,
yes, and I remember you talking about. So y'all have already taken trips. I've seen pictures on Facebook of some of the trips.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, good. Yeah. I guess Righteous Al has posted some. I've posted a few things on Twitter.
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, I have seen it. Yes, I've seen about 2 or 3 pictures.
Yeah. So yeah. So maybe we can kick this segment off again and actually make something of it.
Right.
Make it worth everyone's while, not just our listening audience's while.
Yes, and the nice thing is pictures can be post-edited later on. So. And
now we are gliding right into book club.
I've got a good mind to join a club and beat you over the head with it.
All right. Now today, as per the guest we had on a little earlier and still in the studio, I'm reviewing Dearie, The Remarkable Life of Julia Child by Bob Spitz. I don't know, I don't know very much about this guy, Bob Spitz, but as a cultural biographer, his writing's very lively. It's very much in the same vein as Charles Learson's Blood and Smoke that we talked about on a previous show. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of great attention to detail, a lucid analysis of the culture of the day. And he talks extensively, pretty well in detail. It's not just about Julia Child; it's about public TV at the time.
Oh wow!
Which if you have any interest in radio and television history, and I know from tweeting, I see a lot of people that do. It's actually pretty interesting to see how public TV really kind of got started as a result of Julia Child's imagination, creativity, you name it. When I was a teenager in the 1980s, the Julia Child as cult figure had already been pretty well established. But I didn't realize that she really had practically led an entire lifetime the years before her appearance on television. And I guess partly because public and commercial TV started to close the divide between them in the 1980s. For one thing, I didn't realize that she was a secretary under Wild Bill Donovan.
That's cool.
He was the guy that led the OSS, and that's the precursor to the CIA. And as a result, she was able to travel all around the world. She had the security clearances and all that, and she was privy to a lot of top secret information. And
wow!
So
I was very popular.
I bet you were. Well, and I bet it was very easy for you to get secrets, just being able to talk to people, and they were very comfortable with you.
They talk a lot whenever you're making them food. They just don't like shutting up.
Well, and especially when you serve them a really good Chateau LeBlanc, or is that what it's called?
Chateau LeBlanc, yes.
Thank you. So would you like some more with that, sweetie?
So I mean that's basically what I got to say. I mean I'm not all the way. Once again, I'm not all the way through the book. I don't think I've finished a book in probably a year now. But
but you get enough to be able to tell us.
I get plenty. Yeah, yes. I get plenty. And then, but I would give it 4 stars. I think it's packed with a lot of good details and gives a very fair and balanced way of looking at Julia Child. Mm-hmm. You wanted to mention something about
I do. Well,
Rush
before
Limbaugh.
I do, I have a question for Miss Child. You had a wonderful, touching moment with a Nancy Silverton, I think it was.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And so, but she was on your show and she was cooking a brioche, and the tears were so sweet.
That food was very hot.
Was it?
It was so hot. It made me tear up, yes.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh, the secret's out. Oh, my. Oh, good. But still, it was it was a good dessert, though.
Oh, it was a dessert worth crying over.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, funny how these things happen, isn't it?
Well, I wanted to bring up now. This is one of those times where I'm not the one who read the book. This was it's called Rush, Revere, and the Brave Pilgrims. Now, normally I'm not one to jump on the bandwagon bus because it is Rush Limbaugh, and so it's kind of like, okay, is this book popular because it's Rush or because of the cheesy photography? I mean, the negatives I have to give, and I will get to the positives here because the positives outweigh the negative. But there is some really, really, really cheesy photoshopping going on here. I mean, it's amazing how cheesy the photoshopping is. And it is, and he says, rush, rush, rush all the time. So there's absolutely no self-promotion going on in this book at all whatsoever.
You wouldn't expect that. Who would expect that from Rush Limbaugh?
Miss Child, meet Mr. Rush Limbaugh.
Lovely, dear.
Want a cigar?
Would you like a cake?
I'll take 3.
I don't think you need it.
Yes.
And we're back. So that being said, now I have read like the beginning, and I've read into the first chapter. And what this book is about a guy named Rush Revere, who is a substitute teacher who really, really loves history. And he always dresses in like early, like 17th century type garb. And so he's not your normal, average, typical, think Gwyneth Paltrow on Glee, that kind of substitute teacher. And he has a horse that enables him to time travel. And that's actually what catches the kids' attention that read this book. It is a book that is intended really more for like tweens. And so, and especially if you're like my daughter who loves horses. And so I knew this book was a winner when, first of all, I just started hearing about people, say, oh, yes, my child has read it. My child has read it. And then my next door neighbor, who their child is like 7 years old, she, her dad read the book to her and she loved it. And so finally I got this, Susie got the book for Christmas. And she just takes one look at it. She's like, it's history, and tosses it to the side. I'm like, okay, you have read history and you have liked it. Yeah, but, anyways. So finally I read the book and I read about the first chapter and I was like, you do realize this is about a horse? And she just looks at me. She's like, why didn't you tell me that in the first place? Snatches the book and reads it. I'm not kidding. 2 nights flat. Would have read it in less if I had not caught her about 2 a.m. So it really is that good of a book that, and she's not the only one. I mean, this is the kind of book you catch kids in the middle of the night reading under the covers with a flashlight. It captures, he did a really amazing, either he did an amazing job or he had a really good ghostwriter. I'm not really sure. But whoever wrote the book did an amazing job capturing the kids' imagination. And it's really cool because he goes back in time. If I could read, go back in time to experience the Mayflower voyage firsthand and ask the people who were there, why do you want to leave Europe? Who's your leader on the Mayflower? How many people are on this ship? What food do you eat on board? Where do you sleep? Does the ocean make you seasick? And the answer to that in the first chapter is yes. What will you do when we finally see land from the deck? And so he utilizes this book to educate our children about our history. And I think he might write another one. I'm not sure. But this was a project that he'd been wanting to do for a long time. Not necessarily this specifically, but he's been waiting to write another book because he didn't want to write just another Rush Limbaugh book. He wanted to be something that would truly affect our country in a very positive way. And it took him years to figure out, what can I do? Until one day he was talking with someone and he said, well, why don't you just write a children's book? And then, time passed and this is what it was. So my daughter would give this a flying 5 stars. I gave it 4.5 because of the bad photoshopping. But all in all, get your kid this book. It's, from what I understand, it's a really good book, and it's very educational and a very fun read.
Yeah,
and the horse rocks.
Thunder is 12, and pulls
that's right.
Pulls a Skank's Tail is 6, and I'm with you. I read the first few sentences of it, and I was like, yeah, whatever,
It's cheesy, but it's fun cheesy.
But my wife, Righteous Owl, is reading it to the both of them, and the both of them are just eating it up. So yeah,
exactly.
Right. I'm glad you liked the book.
I'm glad you wrote it, Mr. Limbaugh.
Would you like for me to write another one?
I'd love for you to write. My daughter would love for you to write another one.
I just might have to do that.
You might have to do that.
I'll get started on that right away.
Yes, and would you finally answer my email about an interview? I tried.
No, I don't do interviews.
Okay.
I can't hear you anyway.
Oh, well. And yet you're answering my questions. You really are. What is it?
It's called selective hearing.
There you go. One hand tied behind your back, right? All right.
So, is Julia Child taking orders?
No, land sakes alive, that woman don't take any orders.
I've packed my kitchen up for the day, thank you.
There you go. This woman doesn't take them, she gives them.
You'll eat what I give you and you'll like it.
Yes.
So that puts the wraps on another Not Too Late show. Thanks to our guest, Julia Child, played by Shea Keller.
Yay! Since you're probably already at our website, nottoolateshow.com, feel free to poke around and check out some of Hank's blogs. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Soundscriber on your iPhone or iPod, and hang out with us on YouTube. On Twitter, you can find me at Kerry Kaufman. You can find Hank at Not2 Late Show. And everywhere else, you can find us at our main account handle, Not Too Late Show. And have a happy day!